Imagine standing in the middle of a desert where nothing has grown for decades. Now picture that same desert covered in green forests, buzzing with wildlife and generating millions in profit. This isn't science fiction. This is the Kubuqi Desert in northern China. And what happened here has scientists calling it one of the greatest ecological comebacks in modern history. The Kubuqi Desert stretches across 7,000 square kilometers in Inner Mongolia. For most of the 20th century, this region told a story of environmental collapse. Strong winds carried sand particles across villages, burying homes beneath dunes that reached 60 meters in height. Farmers watched their fields disappear under advancing sand. Rivers dried up, grasslands turned to dust. By the 1950s, desertification had become a national crisis. Government agencies launched massive tree planting campaigns. Workers dug wells. Communities built windbreaks. Yet the desert continued expanding eastward, consuming an additional 400 square kilometers of farmland each decade. The problem seemed impossible to solve. Traditional reforestation methods failed because planted trees couldn't survive without irrigation. Water was scarce, labor was expensive, and the economic incentive to restore barren land simply didn't exist. Then one teacher from Inner Mongolia had an unusual idea. What if the desert could become profitable? What if nature restoration wasn't just an environmental project, but an actual business model? Wang Wenbiao grew up watching sandstorms bury his village. As a young teacher, he cycled 10 kilometers through desert winds to reach his classroom. Sand filled his lungs. His bicycle disappeared under dunes overnight. Most people in his position would have left for easier opportunities elsewhere. Instead, Wang made a controversial decision. In 1988, he purchased a struggling salt company on the edge of the desert. Friends called him foolish. Business experts predicted failure. Why invest in a company surrounded by advancing sand? But Wang understood something others missed. The desert wasn't just an obstacle. It was raw material waiting for the right system. He began experimenting with an approach that combined ecological restoration with economic development. This wasn't charity. This was strategic environmental engineering. Wang's first innovation involved selecting the right plant species. Instead of exotic trees requiring constant irrigation, his team focused on native desert willows. These remarkable plants possess root systems that extend 30 meters underground, reaching water tables far below the surface. Their flexible branches bend in sandstorms rather than breaking, and crucially, they require minimal human maintenance once established. But planting trees in shifting sand presents technical challenges. Traditional methods involve digging holes and inserting seedlings. This works in normal soil but fails in desert conditions where wind constantly reshapes the landscape. Wang's engineers developed a specialized planting technique. Workers drive hollow tubes into sand dunes at precise angles. Willow cuttings slide into these tubes, protected from wind exposure. Underground moisture sustains the cuttings until roots establish. This method increases survival rates from 20% using traditional approaches to over 80%. Within 5 years, 60 million willow trees transformed sections of the Kubuqi Desert. But trees alone couldn't generate the economic returns needed to sustain the project. Wang needed another component, something unexpected. Rex rabbits changed everything. These aren't ordinary rabbits. Bred originally in France for premium fur production, Rex rabbits possess unique characteristics that make them surprisingly well-suited for desert conditions. Their fur commands high market prices, with quality pelts selling for $40 each. They reproduce rapidly, with females producing up to 40 offspring annually. They consume minimal water and thrive on the very willow shoots growing throughout the restored areas. But the economic value was only part of Wang's calculation. Rex rabbits produce nitrogen-rich manure that transforms sterile sand into fertile soil. Each rabbit generates approximately 2 kilograms of waste weekly. Multiply that by millions of rabbits, and you create a natural fertilization system delivering nutrients across thousands of hectares. The manure contains undigested grass seeds. When rabbits deposit waste, they're essentially planting future vegetation while simultaneously fertilizing the ground. During rainy seasons, these seeds germinate, creating new plant growth without human intervention. Wang established controlled breeding facilities rather than releasing rabbits into open desert. This prevented the ecological disaster that occurred in Australia, where unchecked rabbit populations devastated native ecosystems. In Kubuqi, rabbits remain part of a managed cycle, producing fur, meat, and organic fertilizer within a closed-loop system. The willow-rabbit combination created expanding green zones across the desert. But Wang saw potential for one more innovation that would revolutionize desert economics entirely. In 2017, workers began installing solar panels across sections of restored desert. The Junma Solar Park eventually contained nearly 200,000 photovoltaic panels, arranged in distinctive patterns visible from space. This wasn't just about renewable energy generation. The solar panels serve multiple ecological functions simultaneously. They reduce wind speeds at ground level by 40%, creating calmer microclimates beneath the arrays. This allows grass and small plants to establish in protected spaces between panel rows. The shade from panels reduces ground-level temperatures and decreases evaporation, helping soil retain moisture. Workers release sheep and geese beneath the panels to naturally control vegetation growth, eliminating the need for mechanical mowing while adding more organic matter to developing soil. The facility generates 2 billion kilowatt-hours annually, powering hundreds of thousands of homes while cutting carbon emissions equivalent to removing 400,000 cars from roads. But perhaps more importantly, it demonstrates that desert land can produce valuable energy while simultaneously supporting ecosystem restoration. Between 1988 and 2020, the Kubuqi Restoration Project transformed 6,000 square kilometers of desert into productive land. That's an area larger than the entire country of Brunei. Wildlife populations tell the most compelling story. Species that disappeared entirely from the region have returned. Desert foxes, wild deer, and migratory birds now inhabit areas that were lifeless sand 3 decades ago. Scientists documented over 300 native plant species, re-establishing themselves without human assistance. The economic impact extends beyond environmental metrics. More than 100,000 people now work in industries related to desert restoration. Rabbit breeding operations alone employ tens of thousands of families, with individual households earning annual incomes exceeding $20,000 from activities that didn't exist before the project began. The United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification recognized Kubuqi as a global model in 2011. By 2019, it became an official demonstration center for land restoration, with delegations from over 50 countries visiting to study the techniques. The Kubuqi model challenges conventional thinking about desertification. For decades, environmental restoration was treated as a cost, something governments funded out of obligation. Wang demonstrated that restoration could generate profit while healing ecosystems. This approach now influences desert management strategies worldwide. Projects in Mongolia, Egypt, and parts of the Middle East have adapted Kubuqi techniques to their local conditions. The combination of native vegetation, controlled animal husbandry, and renewable energy infrastructure creates self-sustaining systems that don't require permanent subsidies. The Kubuqi Desert transformation didn't happen through government mandates or international aid. It succeeded because one person recognized that environmental solutions must align with economic reality. When restoration generates income, communities have incentive to maintain progress across generations. 30 years ago, scientists predicted the Kubuqi Desert would continue expanding, eventually consuming cities on its eastern edge. Today, that same desert produces food, energy, and valuable materials while supporting thriving ecosystems. If sand dunes in northern China can become profitable forests, what other impossible environmental challenges might actually be opportunities waiting for the right approach?